The cultural identity that I want to focus on my global learning project is the identity of religion. I grew up as a Christian, and so I decided to choose this cultural identity because it really was important to me and my family growing up because, I went to church every Sunday. My family was very involved in my church, and I grew up going to things like Sunday school and going through confirmation and youth group. This cultural identity shapes my values, beliefs, and behaviors just because Christians strive to live in a more Christ-like way every day. So each decision that I make every day is impacted by my faith. And the role that this cultural identity has played in my educational experience is early on in grade school. I remember being taught about science and evolution, and it was contrary a little bit to what I had learned growing up in church and the creation story that we were taught there. So early on, I kind of had to mold these together in my own way and challenge what I was being taught in school, and also challenge what I was being taught in church. So I had to come to my own conclusion about what that would look like for me. So my international partner for this project, her name is Farida Lanseni. She's a computer science major here at Michigan State, and she's a freshman. She is culturally different from me just because she's from Canada, and then her parents are from Ghana, Africa. So and I've grown up in Illinois all of my life, so she, just being from different places than me, will bring a lot of differences, and we'll be able to see those differences when we're talking together. She's a good fit for this project because just talking to her for the little bit that I have before we do our interactions, I can see that she's very interested and excited about kind of sharing our cultures with one another, and she's very eager to kind of just keep learning, and as am I. Interacting with Farida will take me out of my comfort zone just because where I came from in my town, my culture was probably the dominant culture in my town, so I didn't really learn that much about other cultures. I really only kind of know my own, so it'll be challenging to kind of interact and learn a little bit more about like what other cultures like really look like and believe in. So for my first interaction, I'm gonna ask Farida the following questions. What was hard or easy about going to school in Canada? Has the transition from going to school in Canada to going to school in America, has that transition been difficult or like relatively easy, and how is the culture of education different here? Did you form strong relationships with your teachers in Canada, and tell me about the strongest relationship you formed? Did you struggle in school academically or have a relatively easy time earning good grades? And did you enjoy going to school? So really what I want to learn about her educational experience in Canada is not necessarily the academic aspects, but more of the social aspects of going to school there. And I think these 5 questions will help me learn about my educational experiences, because I'll be kind of answering the same questions beforehand, so we can really discuss our answers, and I can see how my educational experience was very different and very based on the culture that I grew up with. My second interaction with her, I'll be taking her to a worship service here on campus, and it's called Crew. Basically what we'll do is we sing lots of worship songs, and we interact with those people around us and talk in small groups about our faith, and then we listen to a speaker. So I chose this activity just because of how important going to church was for me, and the cultural identity I chose for this project was religion. So I chose this activity because I think it'll really like showcase a little bit about my culture, And I'm planning to gain a lot from these interactions that I have because I'm really very interested in learning about another culture, and I'm very excited to be able to share a little bit about mine because a lot of people that I interact with on a day-to-day basis kind of know what my culture is like, and to uh, just to kind of self-reflect on my culture and trying to explain it to her. I think it'll really like teach me a lot about myself, and I'll just learn so much about her culture as well. So I'm very excited for this experience.